I'm a human being. I don't like being rejected any more than the next guy. Okay? And I sat there, and it was a Remax office, and I know exactly where it is today. It's not there anymore, by the way, but I know exactly where it was, and I remember sitting in the car, and I couldn't get out of the car and walk into that office because I was afraid. I tell you that because I want you to understand, you're going to hit fear of rejection at some point. You're going to hit that wall too at some point. That was when I really figured out I had to go hire somebody to walk in and out of offices because I couldn't do it anymore. All right? And so you just need to know that everything I'm teaching you, everything you think you're experiencing for the first time, you aren't.
Hi, this is Mike Crow, and I run a home inspection business. In fact, I've run a couple of home inspection businesses. The true joy for me, though, has been helping literally thousands of home inspectors build really solid home inspection businesses as well. We can help a single-man operation be able to do over $300,000 a year, maybe all the way up to $400,000 a year as a single inspector operation. Even better for me is the 80-plus companies that we have helped be able to build million-dollar home inspection businesses. I would like to help you be able to do the same thing.
In this final segment of the Mission 25 keynote, Mike dives into the real forces that hold most people back: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. He shares why FUD keeps people stuck in the 95% and how to focus on what truly matters. You'll hear how legends are built, why your mission matters more than your excuses, and the mindset shift that can change everything. Let's get into it.
Beware of FUD. All right, so young people probably know this. Hey, Scott, what's FUD stand for? All right. Fear of unknown. Sounds good. Sounds good. It's very close. Who was that? Good job. Good job. Okay. Macy, do you know what FUD is? Good. Lisa does. Lisa does, because she's in the financial world, and they use this word there a lot. One of the things I love to do is try to help keep you ahead of certain things. Somebody I was having dinner with the other night said, dude, okay? I think it was Josiah. Said, dude, to somebody, and he goes, damn, how old are you? I just want you to know, I think it's groovy that you use that kind of language. All right, there you go. So FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And you need to know that's what they're feeding the 95%. And you need to know that's what they want you to be taking. So what drives you, okay? Here's one of the big things that I want you to know. One of the reasons I quit a really nice job, 4 weeks of vacation, stock options, salary, all of it. I quit and walked away after 11 years with that company was because I realized they weren't going to make it. And what I also realized was I have kids. And at the time, I think I had 2 or 3 kids. I don't remember, okay? Alex is kind of this blur, okay? He's sitting back there, just so you know. What?
You had 2 kids.
I had 2 kids. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I quit that, and I went into business with my dad, who, by the way, at one point, we didn't even talk to each other for 2 years. Okay? Relationships can be repaired. I just want you to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that. I don't know who. Relationships can be repaired. And now I go see my dad almost every day. So there are challenges. What drives you? My whole thing was no way I was going to let my family down. Some people will hold on to a job right up to the point that they walk up and the doors are locked and nobody's getting in. Oh, and all your paychecks bounce that week. I don't do that. Even then, I had the ability to see years ahead. 5 years later, they moved out of Texas and went back to their home state, okay? I also went and sold my company, my first company, for over $1 million to a national firm. I wanted to help them so much, they wouldn't listen to half the crap I had to tell them. And they argued with me about the other half. And I realized they weren't going to make it. And so I resigned. And then I started coaching because Susan caught me sitting home watching TV and Hogan's Heroes. And so she said, can we help other people do what you did? And then when I started coaching, I realized I had to have a prototype company. By the way, if you haven't got the book, and I think we sent it to most of you, but if you haven't got the book, The E-Myth Revisited, I studied it when it was just the E-Myth, and I finally found a coach that taught that to me. What I began to realize was I had to have a prototype business so you guys could see that what I'm doing works today, not 20 years ago. Or it worked 20 years ago too, by the way. So it worked both, all right? So anyway, I don't know what drives you. By the way, there's a lot of attitude, effort, and focus that you have to put into things. You know, one of the best things I think I ever come across was don't worry about what you can't control. Our focus and energy needs to be on the things we can control. Our attitude, our effort, and our focus. And this is one of the reasons that we have a subject matter for you that Krista, I think, is going to be teaching, Krista, me, and Jonathan, about lead KPIs and lag KPIs. Because lead KPIs you have 100% control over. Lag, you don't, all right? Focus on your lead KPIs, and we'll talk more about those. But, you know, by the way, we have a big surprise coming for our mastermind members. We created something, and I have to tell you, with Christian, Jonathan taking over the business and doing things, my brain just gets to refocus. And part of it is I drive an hour to my dad's house, and I drive an hour back every day, and it's more like an hour and 10 minutes, okay? And I start thinking about things that I can do on stuff, and we just refocus on stuff. All right, so there's some fundamentals that you need to know of. Generate an overflow of leads. That's the big bang marketing, right? Convert those leads to clients. You've got to make sure that they say yes. Some people think that they book 9 out of 10, but as soon as I really get to the nitty-gritty, it isn't, okay? And so we want to make sure that you have that. And then you got to turn those clients into revenue. One of the things Krista's going to be talking about is how to make $100 more per inspection. She went through that with me last night. It's going to be an amazing topic. And then make more money per transaction, right? And then create a system of raving fans for a repeat cycle of business. Okay? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now, a lot of this is going to feel unfamiliar for you. You will doubt that it will work because it's different. You will doubt that it will work because 95%ers are telling you it doesn't work. And yet, we had our best year ever in 2023. And then 2024 was even better. And 2025 is beating, right now, last year. Because of what I'm getting ready to show you guys and teach you and help you understand and move forward with. And you're going to have a fear of rejection. I'm a human being. I pulled up to a real estate office at one point, and I had just gotten chewed out at a gas pump filling my gas tank up by somebody that saw my vehicle and told me what a terrible, lousy company I had. I'm a human being. I don't like being rejected any more than the next guy. Okay? And I sat there, and it was a RE/MAX office, and I know exactly where it is today. It's not there anymore, by the way, but I know exactly where it was, and I remember sitting in the car, and I couldn't get out of the car and walk into that office because I was afraid. I tell you that because I want you to understand you're going to hit fear of rejection at some point. You're going to hit that wall too at some point. That was when I really figured out I had to go hire somebody to walk in and out of offices because I couldn't do it anymore. All right? And so you just need to know that everything I'm teaching you, everything you think you're experiencing for the first time, you aren't. 40 years, guarantee you, I probably experienced all of it and more. You know? One of the things that me and Susan did in marriage enrichment class is everybody thinks their marriage has problems, and everybody thinks their problems are unique. Turns out they aren't. There's about 12 problems, and, you know, as long as there's not crazy or addiction, then we stand a really good chance of fixing it. Okay? It's hard to fix those other two. They can be fixed, but they're much harder. So you're going to hesitate. It's okay. All right? You're going to want to be inactive sometimes. You're going to just want to sit in a chair and drink a beer and just relax, okay? You're going to want to be, you've got to be aware of the 95%. And you've got to be aware of FUD. The most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. It will crater you. It will bankrupt you, okay? And I want to make sure you stand that. So when I started, the whole thing was give a man a fish and feed him for a day. And then it became, hey, teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime, right? And then we really jumped it up to the next level, and my goal now is to teach a man to fish and feed generations. Teach a man to teach a man to fish and feed generations. Because here's what I've discovered. That's why Krista added those two words, and others. Because Stan has helped and taught more people what I've taught him, and he's going to continue doing that, okay? And he's not the only one. My new goal, my first goal was to help 100 people build $1 million businesses, because I knew every one of those that did would also hire about 10 people on average. My new goal is to find 100 people and help 100 people that will go help 100 people. And so when Krista calls you guys future legends, and some of them walk among us, okay, I want you to understand that as we help you and you help other people, I just want to tell you thank you now, all right? So you will build millionaires. You will build coaches. You will build leaders. You will build families. You'll be a future legend. A lot of good stuff there. So I don't know what your goal is, but it's okay to start small, but you got to play big, okay? You got to make sure you have that, have a vision, all right? Accept the challenge. And my goal is to help you build a sustainable company that works for you even when you're not there. Rory wanted to be here today, and Rory couldn't be here. Many of you saw him on the podcast, and I'm getting close to a speaker, so if I screw it up, Case and I apologize. This is Rory, right? Rory lives in Naples, Florida. His business is in Boston. He goes there a couple of times a year. He is a legend in the industry. It's $1 million+ company. They deposit his check every Friday. He talks to his company once a week, and he lives the most amazing life. Because he built a sustainable company. And that's what I want to teach you how to be able to do if you want to do that. And join me, because I believe in you probably more than you believe in yourself right now. Because I've seen it happen over and over and over again. And yes, grown men cry. And I've had grown men turn their application into Mastermind and cry while they're handing it in to me. And their business now is amazing, and they have an amazing life now. But it's okay to have FUD. It's okay to have fear and uncertainty and doubt. Sit around some people that maybe can help you get past some of that. Help people help themselves by helping yourself first, okay? So now's the time. I'm going to have to speed this up a little bit. The 95% will pull their punches. I see it every day. Now I'm getting ready to ask you a really tough question, and I'm going to expect a response. Do I sugarcoat what I need to tell you for the next 3 days? Or do I tell you exactly how it is? How many of you want me to sugarcoat it? Anybody? So when I get a little brutal, because somebody every year comes up to me and goes, you could have been nicer about that. Chris knows. He's seen him say it to me, okay? Stan knows. Mike, you could have been a little nicer about that. Yeah, you're right. I should have said that nicer. Idiot. Not you. Them. You know? But here's the thing is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you want me to sugarcoat it, feel free to turn in your notebook, go home. We'll give you back whatever money you spent, plus we'll give you your 500 travel thing. Because if you want to come up to me later and tell me, you could have been nicer about that, I don't need it. And I don't want it. And you ain't slowing me down. I'm going to help as many people as I can. Before I exit stage right. And I'm so glad you're here because I want to help you, okay? All right, so now's the time to dream and achieve some of those dreams. And now is the time to step up and play big. And we're going to show you how over the next 3 days. And if you're wondering what the whole mastermind thing is about, don't worry, we'll tell you more about it tomorrow, tell you more about it this evening. And we're going to give some of you, I mean the people that don't live in Dallas, sorry, Joseph. Actually, we're going to give them different opportunity. Jonathan's going to talk with them about how we can help some local people do some things. And even our amazing international real estate coach that works with our members is going to be talking with them about how to do some cool stuff. So you made it here. I believe you can make it happen, okay? So welcome to Mission 25. So here's the question is, we gave you a card to fill out. We did give the card out, right, Krista?
Yes, sir.
So write on that. What is your mission? And if you turn that in, Krista, are we laminating those this year?
Yes, sir.
If you'll fill that out, I'd recommend you put a name on it or sign it. Turn it in at the back. You don't have to do it right now. Sometime today, though, it'd be great. We will laminate those and they'll be laid out there for you. And I want you to carry that card with you for the next 3 or 4 years. Because here's what I know. When people start telling you you can't do stuff, but I've told you go do it, I want you to know why you're doing it. And if you don't understand your why, everything else gets tough. There was one wonderful lady, I'll never forget, this story stuck with me. It was a single mom. She had a young daughter, about 12 years old, and she was getting ready to lose her child because she couldn't support the family. And she was a real estate agent. And she knew if she knocked on enough for sale by owner doors that she would be able to have all the money she needed. She kept a picture of her daughter in her pocket, and before she would think about going and knocking on that door, she would look at that picture of her daughter because that was her why. I don't know what your why is. I don't know what your mission is, but I want you to know what it is, and I want you to be able to think about it. One of the best things me and my dad ever did was put stuff in our pocket to remind us of doing certain things, and I want you to remember why you're doing those certain things. So fill that card out and feel free to turn it in. And I want you to become a future legend. I want you to help people help themselves and others.